Hi friends, in our time together today, I want to talk about anti-condensation liquid. We've talked about the moisture buildup you get. It's actually condensation here in the head of your whistle, and did a little video on how long does it take to warm your whistle up so that that condensation goes away. And I'll put a card up here at the top in case you've not seen that video. I found for my MK Pro that it took like less than 2 minutes, but more than a minute and a half for it to get properly warmed up. See, what happens is that when you're blowing warm, moist air into your whistle that is not as warm and not as moist, that condensation occurs. Actually, if the temperature and the moisture of your breath and whistle don't match, you're going to get condensation, primarily in a metal head whistle, but also in some other whistles as well. Even some plastic headed whistles, you'll get some condensation, just not as much as you would in metal. So for our experiment, I'm going to use my MK Pro. Now, there are a number of ways to deal with that condensation, and that's specifically what we're talking about. But I also need to say, quick caveat, there is a bit of warming up that your instrument takes, because once it's consistent temperature, kind of top to bottom, then it'll play a little better and more consistently in tune and more easily. But it won't take as long to warm up as dealing with the condensation. Also, condensation comes as a result of a number of factors. A metal head, as I said, creates more condensation than a resin or a plastic head. Also, the person might cause more condensation. One person might cause more condensation than another. The temperature of the room you're in, all that stuff. Many factors come to play. So what happens is, and interestingly, as I was thinking about this, the best way I thought to explain what an anti-condensation liquid does is it breaks down the surface tension of the water so it doesn't stick. It just kind of runs off. So I ordered some stuff called Duponol, and it is an anti-condensation liquid. Now, I ordered it from Lazar's Early Music, and I'll stick a link to their website in the notes to this video. There are other anti-condensation fluids you can get, but this one, I'll pull it out of its little plastic bag. We're going to use it in a minute. So, just this little eyedropper thing. You could get others, like I said. Now, anti-condensation liquid works like soap in your dishwasher, or soap for your clothes, or cleaning something else. It works similarly to Rain-X on your windshield. That stuff you spray on your windshield, and then the water just doesn't stick to it. It runs off. Never, ever, ever, ever put something like Rain-X in your whistle. It's toxic. It's dangerous. Don't use anything that could be a hazard for you. Now, some people, as a result of this, have said, one thing that's safe to do is to get a little bit of water and mix some washing up liquid, some dish soap in it, and then just put a few drops down in here, and you hold the bottom, you let it sit there a minute, you let it out, you let it dry, and play your whistle. I've tried that. It worked okay. I wasn't totally excited. So I'm really interested about this experiment that we're going to run here with the Duponol. So what they say is it's called an anti-clogging solution. You don't have to get this specific one. We're going to try it. They say you open it up, you put your finger over the windway here of the whistle, and then you put a couple of drops of this in the windway. And the area in there is a lot smaller than you think. So I'm going to open this up. I've got this open. I'm going to, I want you to be able to see, so it's going to get a little cumbersome. Turn this. And I'm going to put just a couple of drops down in there. Get in there. That's 5 or 6 drops. And I'm going to cover that with my finger. And I'm going to move it around. And they say to leave it in there for a minute. So I'll gab a minute. And I'm going to move it around some. What we're doing is we're coating the inside of the airway, that you blow into. And that is going to make it so that as the condensation starts naturally building up, it's just going to run out down into the whistle and out. And some people even say that if you keep your whistle polished, it will do something similar, but it's hard to polish the inside of the airway. Though I've heard some people say that you could polish the inside of the airway using toothpaste. Sure, I've not tried that one. Okay, I'm sure it works wonders, but it sounds pretty cumbersome to polish the inside of my airway using toothpaste. So I'm just waiting for a minute to pass. So anyway, that's good. And what I'd like you to do, if you have sure, true, tried ways of solving this problem yourself, please comment to this video. I'd love to know, and everybody else would too. And I know somebody is going to say, and I hope you do say, I just play the whistle for a couple of minutes and it warms up. Because my question is, how well does this work? And my second question is, how long does this last? I don't really know. I'll read a little bit and see if I can figure that out. Apparently you need to do it every now and then. That more than a minute has passed. So I'm going to let this out. I've got, oh rats. I've got a cloth over on my desk, but I can't get to it easily. Okay, there, I've got the cloth. Now I'm going to let the moisture out. Okay, now they say, blow it out. Okay, only use something that's safe to use on an instrument. You don't want to hurt the instrument, which you probably wouldn't, but you don't want to hurt yourself. So don't use anything that's toxic. Now, I have to let that sit and dry, and when it's dry, we're going to come back and I'm going to start playing and we're going to see what happens. See you soon. Well, I'm back and I've let my MK Pro completely dry and I've not played it since, so we're about to see. I'll start playing like a scale and then jump into a slower tune or two just to see if it starts clogging or when it starts clogging. If it clogs, I'll blow it out, keep going, because I want to see when it's warmed up. Okay. That was like under a minute. I ran scale. I played Return from Fingal all the way through. And there, you'll notice I sucked a little bit of moisture out at the very beginning, but hardly any at all. I had my doubts as to whether the anti-condensation fluid would do much, but wow, I think that was awesome. So try it out. Do put a couple of drops of soap into just a little bit of water and drip it in there. Let it dry. Blow it out. Or this, I got the Duponol from the music store, and I'll put a link to that in the notes. Some people say it's just watered down soap. Fine. As inexpensive as it was, it doesn't matter. Try it out. I'm not going to go to the route of trying to polish my windway with toothpaste. You can remember the cleaning video of trying to get the inside of the airway really, really clean. Maybe make sure you clean it before you treat it with some anti-condensation liquid. But I am phenomenally impressed. My MK Pro, I mean, in the first couple of minutes of playing, it just clogs. As much me as the instrument. But once it's warm, it's perfectly fine. Picking it up this way, it's as though the instrument was almost warm. I don't know how long that's going to last. That will be interesting to see. And if I figure that out, I'm not sure how I'd figure that out, but I'll let you know. Anyway, that's pretty awesome. So let me know your experience. Stick comments in the notes. This does not mean that you're going to get like saliva. You are still going to get some saliva in your whistle, but that initial airway clogging is what we're dealing with the anti-condensation liquid. I'm currently a fan. And so until next time, this is Scott Shade. Happy non-clogged low D whistling. I'm going to go back to playing.